want you to hate yourself from the top of your
Go down to the description box right now to hear more Malcolm, Les Martin, my man Riz featuring Conway the Machine in its entirety in the description box right now, exclusively on iTunes. Don't wait, hit the button right now. Let's go.
Welcome to another episode of the Uncensored Truth Podcast. I'm your brother, old guy from Hip Hop News Uncensored, and sitting across from me is my co-host.
What it do? What's good? It's your brother Sam and Viral Hip Hop News.
Yeah.
We're in the building. It is a Thursday, another episode of the Uncensored Truth Podcast. Oh God, what's good, my brother?
What up, what up? We in the building once again, man. Like he said, Thursday episode. Had a day off yesterday, so we're refreshed, man, and ready to get right to it. It's been a lot of stuff that's happened since we talked to y'all, so we want to say peace to everybody listening, no matter what platform. Saying, man, how was your day off yesterday, man? You got a tooth taken out?
Yeah, man, I was in the dentist yesterday, man. I feel like I got punched by Mike Tyson, man, and my kids are asking me how I felt today, and I said, well, I feel like the day after getting punched by Mike Tyson. I'm still in pain, but we're going to rock it through, man. We had a great day off. All that being said, man, a lot of great news. We're gonna get into it today, man. But how was your day off, big dog?
Oh man, good, man. You know, the same old. Just continue to do what we do, man. Our routines could pretty much stay the same, man. Successful routine, we just keep it going, so don't change much.
We got a good ritual going, man. And it's a recipe for success. We're gonna keep it rolling and keep the steam brewing.
Yeah,
keep that gumbo smoking. You understand? But what we got going on today, man?
Well, we got a lot going on, man. But before I get into the actual lineup, I just want to say, man, stay tuned for the Wake and Bake podcast. That's gonna be the podcast where we dabble into sports, relationships. We just gonna go, kind of step outside of hip hop and do some other things. That's coming real soon, so definitely stay tuned and be looking out for that one. But today, a lot of stuff has happened, man. We're going to talk about Jay Prince. This just happened probably about 30 minutes ago.
Yeah.
Jay Prince jumped on Instagram and pretty much responded to a lot of the criticism that he was getting over the YBN situation. Now, also, I'm going to talk about that. Also, Fat Joe speaking out about Tekashi 6ix9ine. We're going to talk about Richard Pryor, Howard Stern going straight at Wendy Williams. That's a crazy situation, as well as a few other things I want to talk about in the sports arena today. Cool. At the end about Odell Beckham going to the Cleveland Browns, Eagles bringing back in Deshaun, and some other things just real quick, man. And we're going to have fun with this one tonight. Also, if you're listening to this Friday morning, tonight, it'll be tonight for you. Tune into the Uncensored Truth Podcast on the Uncensored Truth Podcast channel at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on YouTube. We're gonna be live on the air. Definitely.
Man, can't wait for that, man. It'll be the first time we officially launch it exclusively on our official channel, the Uncensored Truth Podcast, which numbers are doing phenomenal right now. I think we're close to 30,000.
Yeah,
I know you and I were talking, man, and maybe we can kind of make something a little official tomorrow live as far as giveaways for the people and things like that, just to give our thanks to all the loyal subscribers, you know what I mean, coming in through drones, supporting the movement and things like that, man. Maybe at 50,000, 100,000 and beyond. We'll talk about it tomorrow, man, live. Exclusively on the Uncensored Truth Podcast. Appreciate each and every one of y'all listening this morning, Friday morning on iTunes, Spotify, Google Play, and all major online outlets. Let's get to work, man.
Yes, sir. I think it'll be good just to start off with the situation going on with YBN Almighty. Now, I'm going to report now that the feds have swooped in and got the alleged people, who took his chain. Now, allegedly, they're a member of the group street gang called Jack Boys. So that's the news that's coming in now. We know about, the Jay Prince, situation where he came out on Instagram and tagged, a guy, I think his name was Zay, that was one of his street names. And he was one of the guys that was arrested, as well. But Jay Prince received a lot of criticism from people over the internet. It was kind of split down the middle, I would say, that they saying that he not maybe snitch, but maybe dry snitch and kind of, giving up names. So Sam, man, what do you think, and what response do you have from Jay Prince for the people right now?
Got you. Well, in regards to the young man getting arrested by the feds, we've seen that coming. They were all over the internet. The whole robbery was on the internet. Then they do a video. So some wild reason, these young boys think that they can go ahead and just do all of this for the temporary clout, only to go ahead and sit in the feds probably for the rest of your life, because you may get attempted murder. And that's nothing, and has nothing to do with what Jay Prince said on the internet. Although a lot of people want to give him criticism, and I know he may have received some criticism on the podcast a couple days ago, kind of veering back and forth on whether or not he's a snitch and things like that. I think we will both agree that it was very odd for him to come out on the internet, something very uncharacteristic of himself. He once again came out. I'm about to talk about that. But these boys deserve to be where they at right now. They put themselves in this situation, and we're gonna see what happens, man. It's a loss of a lot of young lives that didn't have to happen. That being said, this is what Jay Prince had to say on Instagram, and he came out, like you said, about a half hour ago. He had some direct messages for some people, and here it is. He said, "I want to take this time to clarify my message to the people I tagged on my previous post." You guys see right there the people that he tagged, people that he tagged prior to on his first message, and some more. And this is what he said underneath. "Let me clarify, or let me make myself clear. I was never asking any of y'all for help in any capacity. I don't need you. I don't know you or trust any of y'all to do anything concerning the streets for me. With that being said, I witnessed a clown campaigning, bragging, and snitching on himself on a public video about robbing industry people in your backyard, so I took it upon myself to alert the ones I have respect for. It is clear to me that went over some of y'all's heads. Just for more clarity, I've been having ties in the Bronx and throughout New York for a long time, and now it's gotten even stronger with my youngsters. So don't give any of the people I tag credit for what others earned, because all strangers to me other than music. To all of you so-called gangster clowns, there's a time and a place for everything, and I'm going to give you what you asked for. To all of you that's trying to narrow down my message to me wanting a chain lacks the depth of understanding that real street niggas have. That's why you were squares. There's a movement taking place by the time 2 week and the meaning of my bad. There's a movement taking place by the timid and the weak that wants to change the meaning of strong to weak and the meaning of weak to strong. My track record speaks for itself, so I won't lip wrestle with punks. I notice a lot of young men on the East Coast that like to invite men to suck on their private parts. Then they call themselves gangsters. But real men don't invite other men to suck their unless they're gay. I guess if the man you're asking to suck on you say, okay, you're going to get naked now, then you know better. Hopefully your punk ass niggas will do better. Or maybe it feels good being a punk ass nigga, period. Oh God, your thoughts, man.
Yeah, he said a lot there. And I think a lot of people the criticism was that, he did it on the internet was the big thing. You know what I mean? When he started to tag people now, everybody was saying, oh, they did a video. We understand that. That's almost like when somebody does something and we re-report it again. They might try to say, oh, no, but it already happened. So we understand that the dude put himself out there. But if you're going to engage people to do stuff and put people to go different places, that's what he was doing when he put the word out. It's almost like, just stay behind the scenes and do it, because actually a friend of mine that lives out in Houston hit me up today. And he was saying he helped another situation. He's known for doing that, pretty much helping things go down behind the scenes, especially in Houston. I'm not going to name the person, but he got somebody else's chain back in Houston. So maybe the social media thing kind of muddied the water in the situation with Jay Prince, but I can forgive him. I mean, we never did, call him a snitch per se, but we said I didn't have a problem with people saying that came from the street life, because it's like, you don't give them any help, any at all. Once you give them any, you lead somebody on, they consider you a snitch in the street. That's just what it is. You can't just paint different scenarios. Say, oh, you got to be with somebody. No, when you help out the law enforcement, when you point the law enforcement in the direction, people are going to call you a snitch in the street. That's just what it is.
Yeah. And when we had that conversation, I really was kind of hesitant in even saying that, because in my heart of hearts, I didn't believe that. I thought this was a situation where he thought, in a day and age where you see all these young boys out here doing this shit for clout, this is a direct message in communicating with them young boys directly. I thought that, given Jay Prince's resume, his respect out here, in all of the words in his criticism, and you can kind of throw us in this barrel to people that gave criticism to what he said in the context of what he said it. And it really it seemed like it agitated him a little bit, but very surprising that he put it on social media, understanding that people are going to do just that. They're going to commentate on it. They're going to speak on it. Get Jay Prince. And when you put shit out here, all the media outlets are going to gravitate and go toward it. So what do you think about that? Him kind of calling out some of the media that talked about him, see,
the thing what happens with that when you're looking on the YouTube, as opposed to like your mainstream, is that you got all these nuts that guys are just in their house, they have no integrity, they just come out on a camera and they say anything for view and clout. They don't care because they don't know these people. They don't have no connection with them, so they think that they can say anything and disrespect people, and get away with it. And these may be sometimes the videos that these guys, whoever, maybe somebody tweets it a lot, tags them, it pops up in their feed for whatever reason, is recommended to them. They may see this video and start seeing a few of these guys and may think that that's the consensus of everybody when it's really not. You know what I mean? So, we seen it. We seen the disrespect. We seen it through different people, whether it be rappers or people that have YouTube channels, think they're doing something out here. They say all types of stuff and they get views for it. And they think that's, people like Jay Prince might think that's what's standing, but it's really not. I think that, again, once you're in that caliber person like Jay Prince, you're as popular as you are, you have books, you're a hip hop, mogul, anything that you say, especially that has to do with crime, is going to be scrutinized, to the fullest capacity. But I could say, not that I'm anybody to give him a pass, but I don't look at him any different. I think he just should have did it behind the scenes as opposed to in public. That's all.
Okay, what do you think about, or what would you say in regards to him and this recent statement? Do you think that the criticism over social media, YouTube and beyond, got to him? And I don't want to mean got to him in the sense of bothered him, but got him to react and even render a response? Because we talked over and over and over again about the numerous celebrities that continuously go back and forth on social media with the comments and things like that. And we get the comments and all that, but we're practicing very, very hard to stay away from the comments as much as possible, because we know that rabbit hole that we can get swept up in.
Yeah.
And then we sitting here overly putting emotion to shit that really doesn't matter. Do you think that Jay Prince may have fell victim of that a little bit?
Probably. And maybe, sometimes it's better just not to say nothing at all. Right or wrong, indifferent, just walk away from it and let the chips fall where they may. He's built his reputation as being who he is, but just to answer that question, I think that he probably did. I think that he let this, whether it be going on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, or YouTube, get to his head. People saying this, seeing these videos that pop up, and kind of just thinking like, oh, I need to, clear the air, so-called, and say I'm not going to go back and forth with people when that's exactly what you're doing. But I got a tremendous amount of respect for Jay Prince, his organizations, what he's done for hip hop at the end of the day. And I really didn't even want to talk about it like that, because it was just like, it was just that bad of a thing. Like, all right, fuck it. But that's what we do. So
we had to do it, man. And,
yeah.
And we put ourselves and made a repertoire or put ourself out there for talking about the tough issues and getting involved with it. But we got a ton of respect, nothing but the utmost respect for Jay Prince. Like you said, what he's done,
definitely
his history, what he was doing out here trying to gain that independent label for music. Him, Suge Knight, Irv Gotti. We all heard about that story, what he did for boxing. Yeah, an incredible repertoire. And we definitely have nothing but the utmost respect.
Facts.
We got to give commentary to where it serves, man. It is what it is. It comes with the territory. And we're going to do that.
Yes, sir.
Indeed, man.
Definitely. But you're tuned into the Uncensored Truth podcast with your brother, Old God and Sam, man. We're going in today on this Thursday night. We want to encourage everybody that's listening on YouTube or wherever you're listening at, go ahead and hit the like button and make sure that you share this videos. I want to talk about, this, Sam, man. Now, Fat Joe, I think he sat down with Angie Martinez, and he pretty much was talking about Tekashi 6ix9ine. I just want to talk about that briefly as I look for the video. There it is right here. And here it is. I'm going to play this video and we'll talk about this.
And now we can't, he can't be my friend. He can't come around me ever again. You know what I mean? Those are rules. He crossed that line, I don't even understand if I go to a club and they play his song. I'm keeping it a buck. Once you cross, I pray for people who cross that line. When they talk to the police and they snitch, I pray for them. I'm like, yo, that's cool. We can't be cool. You over there, Utah. I don't know where you going. Please stay away from me. I die before you see me in the picture with Tekashi 6ix9ine.
You tried to school Tekashi 6ix9ine.
So there we go. That's he sat down with Angie Martinez. Shout out to them. You know what I mean? And the new artist that he's promoting called Angelica Vila, something like that. Sorry if I said your name wrong. You know what I'm saying? But interesting. I think interesting that he said that. And we said this in the pre-production, man. We was chilling, and I was like, man, I'm so glad that he said it like he said it. You know what I'm saying? In this in particular situation, because there was a lot of people out there that kind of tiptoed through the tulips. They didn't really want to come out and say anything. But nah, it's just like, it's two sides to this thing. either on that side or you're on this side. It is what it is. You know what I mean? And we know coming up in hip hop, and I came up listening to the Fat Joes, the Cherry Squad, all the, you know what I mean? That's what I'm saying. So we already know about the whole snitch thing. So it's just like, I appreciate him saying that, and you on the other side now, 6ix9ine. It just is what it is, man. I mean, you working with the law enforcement, and coming from the hood, we don't fuck with law enforcement. We just don't, because of the history and what they have done to our people.
Man, it was, when he said it, first off, it resonated on a number of areas for me, because a lot of people express the sentiment, but like you said, some people tiptoe. But him being from New York, him being Hispanic, him being an OG and living that life for real, and him being able to throw some genuine context to what he's saying. And also somebody that tried to give this dude a chance and tried to school him on the moves that he was making and the wrong moves that he was making. And maybe at one point or another thinking, okay, yeah, this kid is living this life. If he is, yo, you got to move A, B, C, because X, Y, and Z is going to get you fucked up. And it did. Mm-hmm. And now come to find out it was a whole facade. And people are upset about that, especially an OG who came from it, who respects it, who understands, with you now telling on people, albeit somebody that may have fucked your girl, that may have tried to do this, you're about to put them away for 43 years when you did the exact amount of dirt that they did. This is what people are talking about, and the biggest concern. He talked about that. He also talked about later on in that conversation how he had a friend, and his friend, he rolled with him. Even in his career, he was trying to buy him a bodega. He was trying to buy him a laundromat, anything he could to try to get his boy up. He got hit up, started squealing. His Dominican boys went to him and said, hey, yo, Fat Joe, your boys are starting to squeal. He cut him off. That was his friend. Yeah. So this is just how they do out there. Yeah. You know what I mean? So you just, it's certain things you just don't play with. And if that's not who you are, much respect to you, don't get involved. That is not who I am. I got people that are heavily involved in it. I keep them there, and they know to keep me here. But we all got respect for each other. Yeah. And we all understand the law of the land. And it's a reason, it's a context to all of this. It's not like people are, and I hear a lot of people in the comments, they'll say, well, oh, you know, forget that street code. Nah, you can say it all you want, but the guys that's from the street, keep that. And also what Fat Joe said, he talked about, you know, again, putting the people away, but like now you're putting yourself in a position where you're becoming a judge, jury, and executioner for the next man. So it's just like, at the end of the day, we don't fuck with rats. I hate to keep cussing, obviously, on for YouTube, you know, algorithm, but it's just like when you're in a situation like that and you're doing the dirt with them, they got them on camera. Y'all seen the videos. We have to go back, and now you're in a position, you know, and they offer you, you know, whatever they offer you. Now you're starting to squeal on people. I just think it's corny, man. And I think that, you know, a lot of times, you know, that we can get, you know, caught up in just the entertainment part of this thing and thinking it's entertainment, but now this is real life. Like, people really got shot at. You know what I mean? So he should have went down with the ship, in my opinion. He didn't. So he deserves a criticism. We all hear when life imitates art. This is when art tries to imitate life for real. And it doesn't work that way. And it doesn't work in the reverse. So just learn from this young kids. You know what I mean? People out there that's trying to aspire to be. You can't win off of clout. We see what happened with YMB Almighty J. The people that went out there and did that didn't go ahead and shoot a video. We've seen this countless of times. And we talked about some OGs in the pre-production meeting that we know got bread, that we know are out here winning. But you don't see them doing none of this shit. They laying low and they out there winning. They on social medias, they doing their thing. But they don't never floss they shit. And those are the ones you got to really look at and look up to.
It's like I was, again, go to American Gangster. I was watching that the other day. And the part of the movie that really put the feds on to him is when his wife bought him that chinchilla, whatever it was, you know what I mean, coat. And he always, you know, not to glorify him in any way, but his thing was to, you know, remain under the radar, never be too flashy. Because remember, he said he would have shot his brother if it wasn't his brother. You know what I mean? In a situation when he was trying to be like Nicky Barnes, he started getting flashy because he was getting money. So all it takes is one time, somebody looking at you, you wearing somebody's mortgage, you know what I mean? Or the car payment on your neck. They're like, yo, I want that shit. And we seen, you know, God rest his soul, the young man Junior, how brutal it can get in some of these inner cities when people, you know, for whatever reason, whether it be money or just a vendetta, they'll do whatever it takes. So it's a sad situation, but you know what it is, but it is.
Got a lot of people that are very insecure with themselves, so they try so hard to try to make other people look at them in the way that they want to be looking at themselves, even though underneath all that is still bullshit. Right. And we got to get away from that, man. We got to get away from all these things, material things that we feel as though are going to put us in a certain situation, because, hey, man, it only gets you robbed, fucked up, or somebody praying for your demise, man. So just move smart out here.
Yes, sir.
That's it.
Definitely, but you tuned into the Uncensored Truth podcast with your brother Old God and Sandman. Everybody listening on YouTube, y'all already know what to do. Go ahead and hit that like button and make sure that you share this video. All right, Sandman, I know you wanted to talk about the great late Richard Pryor.
Yeah, man. My top comedian of all time. Richard's number
Really?
one. Yeah,
Oh,
man.
shit.
Live on the Sunset Strip.
Right.
Some of them other comedy shows, classic comedy shows. Some of the best. I can still listen to him now in 2019 for sure. But you know Quincy Jones, he did a real in-depth controversial interview. I believe it was with Vulture back in 2018, where he said a lot about a lot of different people, in particular Richard Pryor and Marlon Brando. Now, this is Quincy Jones' words, and I quote, "He was the most charming motherfucker you ever met. He'd fuck anything," he said about Brando. And he said he fucked Richard Pryor. They were fuck buddies. Now, this came out and everyone was up in arms, in particular about this conversation. Richard Pryor's widow at the time, Jennifer Lee, confirmed the news, but received some backlash from the comedian's daughter, Rain, who denied the claim and referred to Jenny as my dad's so-called widow, who needs to keep legitimizing herself and tarnish our dad after he is dead. Now, jump to 2019, probably about a year ago. Jennifer's back in the news, and she told the Daily Blast that she suggested the comedian's kids didn't know him the way she did. Quote, Jennifer, "He wasn't ashamed of it. And people say, well, let him rest in peace. What are you doing? Then you're not a fan. Because Richard discussed this. He would be talking about it today if he was here. He'd piss off that Q was getting a hard time. He'd probably fill you in on the details." Now, she also added, "They don't know their father the way I know him. Clearly, I think she's off base, but that's okay. I wish them well." Oh, God, this got a lot of fucking layers. And I'm probably hitting you with a lot of shit you didn't know. Because back then, 2018, we were busy with other shit. And I covered this, but you didn't.
Yeah.
So,
Damn.
what you think about all this, man?
Man. Yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know what to think about it, man. It's a situation where I heard about the Richard. I didn't know who with who, and I didn't, if it was even true. But now I know. You know what I mean? And I don't take nothing away from him. I mean, obviously, it was something that he came out and boasted about, for whatever reason. And we got situations where, for whatever reason, some people are attracted to the opposite sex. You know what I mean? And that's not my thing, but I can't blame them. But as far as the family coming out and talking about it, I mean, I think it's their prerogative. I don't see what the point is at this, what is going to accomplish, but I mean, just to have discussions like this, but I don't really know, man. I don't know too much about it to really, you know what I mean? I think it's just wild.
It's wild, man.
Yeah.
And we all know Richard Pryor was into the drugs. He was into the wild times. He grew up in a brothel. So he was just, his whole mind and whole body was programmed in some different shit. But we all got respect for him. Like I said, he's the number one comedian of all time. And he's not going anywhere no matter what his lifestyle did. And I think that's why a lot of people respected him. Right. And I can agree with what his widow said in regards to him being very candid about it if he was alive now, whether that be true or false. I think he would give you the 100% raw truth about that. Right. Something that we don't have in 2019. We talked about Dave Chappelle going in on my man Daniel Caesar and him getting sensitive about that because you can't say shit like that anymore. Right. But we could sit here and talk about Richard Pryor being a crackhead and fucking Marlon Brando, and he would laugh that off like it was nothing. We got to get some tougher skin. We got to just learn to laugh shit off. Laughter is the best medicine. Fact. I think that even through all the craziness that Quincy Jones dropped in that interview, it's a pretty funny fucking interview. He said some wild shit as an old man, and old men say some of the funniest things. So shout out to the whole family. Like you said, hopefully these two people, or these two, the family and the mom or the widow, can get together privately as opposed to throwing this out publicly to where, unfortunately he can't rest in peace because people gotta keep talking about it. I mean, definitely, man. But definitely, that is what it is, man. Here on the Uncensored Truth podcast, definitely living up to the name. You know what I mean today. But we going in today, man. So I want to jump to this next story, real quick because Howard Stern and Wendy Williams have been going at each other. It seems like today, and I just want to start off first. They're saying that it started when Wendy Williams pretty much went on her show, and she said this about Howard Stern. She said, "Howard is so Hollywood right now. And Howard, I love you, but since you go in Hollywood, everything you say is so predictable. Every story is going to be about, oh, I love this one, and then we went on their yacht. He is a Hollywood insider, which sucks. You started like me, being of the people, but at some point you sat behind a microphone for too long, and now you are the people." Now she says,
Now this actually got Howard Stern, to go off after she did this on the show, and he said, "Jealous bitch, you're nobody to me." He said, "You'll never be me, Wendy. You'll never be me. You could pretend to be me. You could pretend to be like me, but you're not. You don't have my wit, and you don't have my talent. You couldn't have the career. You're a fly." And then he kept going back and forth, going at each other's throat. With more words, I get the point there.
So they went back and forth with each other.
Pretty much. Obviously, both big in the radio, started in radio, now have huge careers, respectively, and they're both, different what they do. But I don't know too much about their history, but this is wild, Sam, man. What do you think about this, man? Howard Stern, I know you posted a lot of videos of him going on a lot of people in the past, namely Jamie Foxx and Wendy Williams, going back and forth with each other in the open.
Publicity stunt.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, man.
Publicity stunt. You don't see two people on the top of their games the way they are get affected by words. And for her to say that about Howard Stern and for him to react in the way that he reacted and then them to go back and forth, we see Wendy Williams is on a comeback, her kind of getting back after all the controversy that went on with her husband. What better way to do it when to get in a tiff with somebody you trust, somebody you know is going to piggyback you, and who better for Wendy Williams to spar with than Shock Jock? What's his name? The fuck is his name? Howard Stern. So damn. I think it's a publicity stunt, man.
Yeah, I think that, and even when you looking at the words, it kind of looks like, just say this about her: "You'll never be me, jealous bitch." Like, come on, man. Like, and maybe it could be some truth to, some type of bad blood, but I doubt. I think it's one of those things where, again, she's coming, back off a little hiatus, trying to kind of get her name hot again. And again, you got to get somebody to go back and forth with. So, that is what it is, man. That's a crazy situation there. Wendy Williams is always, we come up listening to her when she was on Power 99. So we have an intimate relationship, even with Charlamagne when he was in Philly, listening to her. So happy about her progress, but she's always tied up in crazy stuff like this, man. Nothing new.
I'm going to fuck you up real quick. So that they didn't record that in Philly, right?
Nah,
that was nationally syndicated.
So it was in New York. Okay.
Yeah, I was reading Charlamagne's book, the first one, and he was talking about their journey and how he had to go from. Right. I don't know if he was going from South Carolina at the time where he lived in New York, but went there to shoot that. And I'm like, are you kidding me? I thought that shit was right here, because we used to listen to it on Power 99 every morning, whether it be going to the bus or in the morning. That was our joint, man, and that's when we first got introduced to both of them, Wendy Williams and Charlamagne. Yep. And they both doing their thing still. So shout out to both of them, man. Yeah, do their thing.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So you're tuned into the Uncensored Truth podcast with your brother, Old God and Sam, man. If you're listening on YouTube, I need y'all to do me a favor. Go ahead and hit the like button and share this video at some point. Matter of fact, share it right now. Yeah, right now for us. We appreciate that. This last story, Sam, man, we didn't have this in the lineup, but I remembered this one actually from yesterday. My man T.I., which we love, a lot, put up a post on Instagram, and it had a lot of people talking, started up a lot of discussion in the hip hop community. And he says, "Any way you slice it, I'm the very best at what I do. Impossible to duplicate, except no substitutions. When you get done bullshitting, riddle me this. Who since Pac has maintained as much consistency, diversity within music genres, businesses, and other opportunities?" I'll wait. Sam, the question is on you. What do you think about what T.I. said about Tupac and who has, kept the consistency and pretty much done what he's done, overall in hip hop to date?
I have not done nearly the amount of work that T.I. did in music that we've done on this podcast game. We got a lot to do, work to do. But once a day, I get kind of compelled in myself to flex. Like I really want to fucking just go ahead and say this on here or this on here, this on here. And I don't. And I don't, because it's not up to us to say we the best. It's not up to us to give ourselves personal accolades. We got to put in the work and then let the people do that. No matter how much we feel as though it's justified. And I'm not arguing with what T.I. is saying. I'm not arguing with him, but you can't self-proclaim yourself that and not get any criticism. You got to let that body of work speak for itself. Now, I heard somebody, because I read that too, and I'm glad you brought that up, say Hove, and he said, with all due respect, did Hove do movies? So he's talking about the complete body of work. You can't argue with T.I. when it comes to certain things, but let the people say that. And I don't think the people are saying that right now. I think you're saying that.
So what do you think, though? Like, still, though, would you say that, would you put him in that, category as being number one, in that? Or would you say that there's other people like Jay-Z? Would you agree that Jay-Z, has done more, even though you take movies out, but everything else, I mean, Jay-Z's killing it.
Yeah, oh yeah. Jay-Z's definitely killing it.
Right.
And I think that T.I.'s putting movies specifically in there so that he can talk about, I mean, when you look at Tupac for what he did on a conscious level, what he did in music and then what he did in movies and just the full body of work, I think that you can kind of see a blueprint to where T.I. is maybe trying to emulate that, his work out here in the streets when it comes to posting shit on Instagram and really getting active and doing things like that. And then he has the clothing lines, he's acting. So he can put himself in the conversation, but I think we got to really think about that. I don't think I want to make a knee-jerk reaction and say yeah or no, but you got to let the people do that. Though.
Yeah, I understand, but here's what I say, and I differ a little, because it comes up sometimes when you look at it, all these guys kind of boast, man. Jay-Z boast, Tupac used to boast. Everybody at some point, especially in the music, boast about how they're the best at this, about how they could take your girl, about how much money they got. It's common, but I do understand it. I think that T.I. has had an incredible career. Any way you look at it, he's going to be one of the legends, one of the greats. But I do agree with your point, though, when you say let the people, line it up, let the accolades come in like that. Hip hop is one thing, but I can think of a few people who have been killing it as well. But I don't think it even should be a comparison at this point. I think it's just, everybody's winning and everybody can join up. You see him taking pictures. With 50, you can see Jay-Z taking pictures with this person. People are doing their thing, collectively. I think that's a good thing. You know what I'm saying? So
50 Cent's a great person to put into that conversation.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Person. And this is my thing, because I have no problem with people doing their thing in the midst of the game. And what I mean by that is the bragging and the boasting. We see the people. We see Jordan do it, one of our favorites.
Right.
We seen Terrell Owens do it, one of our favorites. No matter where you look at, there's competitive people in any genre. We're very competitive people within the game of the game.
Right.
But when it talks about the Hall of Fame, when you're talking about sitting at the elite, the Mount Rushmore, you gotta let the people do that, man. And you're trying to put yourself somewhere right now where you already Mount Rushmore status.
So who's above T.I., Sam, man? Let's get to it. Who
and what though? And that whole
and all that he says, music genres, businesses, other opportunities, and as we know, movies and consistency. Who don't exclude one category because you say Jay-Z doesn't do movies. We can still throw him in there too. You know what I'm saying? Who would you say is above T.I. right now? Just two people.
50.
I'll say Diddy and then Jay-Z.
I'm not gonna put Diddy in there. Now Diddy got more money than him.
Diddy's done a lot. He's done stuff, music, liquor, as well as a lot of other things, schools.
You're not excluding movies.
Media.
You're excluding movies.
You can't. I'm just because somebody don't have one category. I don't want to exclude them. What I'm saying, just because he didn't do movies. Nah, I don't.
Well, in that context of the conversation, hell yeah, Diddy's up there. Diddy might be more than all of them. Damn near. I mean, him and Puff. Jay-Z. Mm-hmm. Did you hear on the 2 Chainz album? He was talking about it was Uncle Sam or Sam. I forgot what the last track on the album. He was talking to Diddy about how he owed millions of dollars in taxes, and Diddy said, "Man, I owed 100. I gave 105." Shit.
Yeah.
Diddy's a boss, man.
Yeah.
I don't know too many people that be just going there giving another $5 million on top of that.
I rock with T.I. though, man. Like I he's one of my top ones. You know what I mean? I just like, how he definitely, and I like how he makes the comparison to Pac because he kind of embodies that spirit. He got the revolutionary spirit. He's been to jail. He's been, in the trenches, and he still maintained, that level. You know what I mean? Of not only consistency, but he's been the same person. He didn't really change. He's always speaking out about issues. He's never shucking, never jiving. So I salute him in that respect. But I think there's some other people that you could probably definitely put ahead of him, but I don't like to do the comparison thing like that.
I've never even thought of this category. He's winning.
Nah,
I'm happy for him.
Right.
I don't put himself there. Maybe he felt as though somebody may have disrespected him behind the scenes on a business level or something like that, where he felt compelled to do this. Like I said, I've been in this situation before on a very lower scale than this, and I understand where that man is coming from. I just feel like when you start having these kind of conversations, you're putting in the body of work where you're not gonna have to say a word, brother. It's gonna be there, man. We got a ton of respect for you here, like God said, and a fan of your music, a fan of what you're doing, the platform. I'm gonna give you some criticism, some jabs. We do that with everybody, man. But enjoy your stuff, brother, for real. And you there. You ain't gotta say it.
Right. Definitely. So salute, T.I., man. Always some good subject matter, on a podcast here. But yeah, man, another episode of the Young Said the Truth podcast is in the books. Make sure if you're listening to this Friday morning or wherever you're listening to this, tune in Friday night, 8 p.m. on the Young Said the Truth podcast channel to check us out live. And if you can, please just share the podcast with one other person. You know what I mean? That's pretty much all I got tonight, man.
Yeah, man, we're gonna enjoy ourselves going out with the music of my man Riz.
Yeah.
More Malcolm, less Martin, killing the game right now. You can check that song out also in the description box. The link will be in there to his official iTunes, going directly to the song. I know a lot of people have been asking. I've been seeing it on the Uncensored the Truth fucking Twitter and everywhere else, man. People getting on us. Where's about the song? Where's the song at? Well, there it is. So go down there and support this brother, man. Let him know the Uncensored Truth sent you.
Yes, sir.
We out of here, man. We'll see you tomorrow.
Yes, sir. Have a good one.
We out.
Hopping out the Lex, I felt like Malcolm X. Marching with the shooters like Martin Luther. 40 cal SK or the fucking Ruger. Don't ever question if I got the heart to shoot.
As we walk, we must make the pledge that we shall always march ahead. We cannot turn back.
They say the best things come from the worst shit. This all facts, this ain't no verse shit. I done fought the state on some verse.